I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
about to be brought to its knees by one desperate man.
I don't think our table has any steak sauce.
NBC presents Ernest P. Worrell.
Know what I mean?
He was trying to live a good, clean life till he fell in with the wrong crowd. Now he's in the big house by mistake.
Accessories is so important.
Trying to make his big escape.
Is this the way you treat your mother?
The network television premiere. And now, Ernest goes to jail.
You're not getting any more of my business.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a one or two videos actually for Andrew and Chilton, who requested a review for this film and another film, which I'll get to. But Ernest Goes to Jail. Now, Ernest Goes to Jail is a 1990 film, and I have reviewed one of the Ernest films, and that was Ernest Goes to Camp, I believe. And I didn't mind it for what it is. I like Jim Varney. I grew up with Ernest movies. Funny enough, Ernest Goes to Camp is not one of those I grew up with, but I mainly grew up with Ernest Scared Stupid, which is my favorite, Ernest Rise Again, which I really enjoy, which is actually the other request, which I'll do after this, and Ernest Saves Christmas. And then I also grew up with this, but this one I didn't watch much as a kid. I watched some of it, but I would rewatch the other films more, and this one sounds stupid, but because I loved the Ernest character and Jim Varney so much as a kid, Ernest Goes to Jail I always found kind of depressing because, oh, he gets in jail, and then he gets electrocuted, and then... But he's fine. I mean, that's the thing with these Ernest movies. They are live-action cartoons. But as a kid, I'm like, oh, man, Ernest, I felt bad for him because he did this. It is the dumbest reason. But watch it again. It is a fun movie. It is a fun film. If you know what it is going into it. They're live-action, harmless, family-friendly, slapstick, live-action cartoons. And Jim Varney, he's very expressive with his face. He is a warm-hearted type of character. A character that doesn't have much brain cells, but again, he means well. He's, again, warm-hearted. He's genuinely nice. And it's easy to root for the character. It's easy for me to like the character. And it's funny, later on, I found out when I was an adult that, oh, this got started because he was a TV pitchman, and the Ernest character was used to sell products like Mellow Yellow, which I'm a big fan of that soda, among other products. And then that led to, hey, this guy's popular, let's make a movie out of this, which became Ernest Goes to Camp, which again, I did review that on the channel if people are interested. But yeah, so I'm an Ernest fan. I do like these movies as fun, entertaining, silly, slapstick. Especially for Jim Varney. Now, the opening credits were entertaining in this one. I like the music. You have Ernest or others in shadows and silhouettes, and then at times a black and white, like a picture that moves. Isn't that a movie? No, but this is like a picture, and imagine a bunch of still pictures put together, kind of like that. But it's a black and white of Ernest that pops up. I know they had a fun opening credits at Ernest Steers Stupid as well. And this is when the movies went into theaters. It wasn't until, I think, Ernest Rise Again, which I believe that went straight to video. If it went to theaters, there's like a handful, but it was mainly straight to video affair. But in this film, Ernest is a custodian at a bank. Garland, I can never pronounce it. Gaylord Sartain and Bill Burrs, they return. They play security guards. Those two were also in Ernest Saves Christmas. They're the guys that the reindeer went into their place for shipping. And I believe they're in Ernest Steers Stupid. I believe they are. It's been a while since I've seen these movies. And I'm not sure why afterward they did not return for like Ernest Lives Again and films afterward. I don't know if there was some dispute with money. I don't know the whole deal. Gaylord Sartain was still around because he was in Steven Seagal's film The Patriot in 1998. I don't know, maybe something else came up. But I always enjoyed those two as side characters, Gaylord Sartain and Bill Burge. Bill Burge, I know his character's name was Bobby. They had a little bit of Lauren Hardy, or a little bit of Penn and Teller, a teeny bit. Maybe because one's a bigger guy and the other is a guy smaller who doesn't say anything. Like Bill Burge's character never talks. But those were fun side characters. And Ernest did a very Looney Tunes type of opening segment where the floor polisher is messing up, and so he's going all around, including the ceiling. You can't go up the wall. I always laughed at that line delivery. Even as a kid, I do remember laughing at. Because again, the floor polisher really does seem like it has a mind of its own and just going everywhere, hitting Ernest with everything, and then stops at the wall, and you can't go up the wall, and then goes on the ceiling, dragging Ernest along with it. Either you don't like the slapstick, cartoony action, or you do. I enjoyed it, but I grew up with Three Stooges. That's what kind of felt like another version of Three Stooges, that kind of when I say harmless, I mean not mean-spirited in the slightest type of slapstick. Like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Although some of the Looney Tunes cartoons can be a little bit sketchy. And that's where you get the first instance where he gets shot by and then metal keeps going towards him. And that will be followed a couple times throughout the film, including the finale. I thought some of the effects were rather well done, or I should say well staged, like how they got these cabinets to slide along the floor in these wide shots and look as if it's following Ernest and stalking him. I mean, these are... I kind of wonder how they did it. Like, did they have something underneath to slide these things? Was there some kind of wires used? That's why I wish there was actual making of documentary of these films. There's something called The Importance of Being Earnest, which is about Jim Varney, that apparently is getting made, which I look forward to that. I don't know if it would go really in depth on these movies. I hope they do. But I don't know. It might be just, okay, more just about the man himself and not the movies. But I really do, if I stop stuttering, would love to hear more about the making of these films. I know John Cherry, he directed most of them, maybe even all of them, I can't remember. Like to hear, I don't know if he's still around, would love to hear his 2 cents. But yeah, I thought it was well staged, going through all, stalking Ernest. He hides in the safe, and the metal deposit boxes slam into his face. Other characters, you have this lady who's very nice and sweet to Ernest. It's like, hey, let's go out to dinner as friends. And Ernest like, the two of us at the same place in the same town, maybe even possibly the same table. See, a lot like Three Stooges, where Three Stooges had their fun slapstick, but from time to time have an entertaining way of their verbiage, their words. I thought Ernest captured that spirit of the Three Stooges. I really do feel that way. And maybe that's why as a kid I loved Three Stooges and I loved Ernest. And Jim Varney, I thought he put his heart and soul into this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean I love every Ernest film. I remember not caring for the much later ones, like Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest. I can't remember anything about In the Army or Goes to Africa. Funny enough, I just heard the other day that apparently at one point there was going to be Ernest Goes into Wrestling. And it was going to be in development with the WWE. But then something fell through. Which I'd never heard that before, but that'd be interesting. But here, I heard that from, I like this guy, Jim Cornette, and he had been asked a question. And Jim Cornette, on a side note, I don't always agree with his views. Like, he wasn't a fan of Ernest, but I do enjoy him as a personality. And that's the thing, like, just because, we're all fair, just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean, oh, you hate him. And like Jim Cornette, he likes a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people, they like a lot of stuff. But if it's some random person, and I don't know you, and if you're approaching me and like, are you approaching me in a conversation? You want to have a conversation? Or you're approaching me because you want to do this? I don't know. That's a tangent. Like if you don't like Ernest, that's fine. That's cool. Not going to be mad or angry at you. Just don't be a dick. Other entertaining moments, when Ernest goes to visit the two security guys at their place, and they have a shooting range right by the door, so Ernest has to dodge it, and then they set up this gingerbread man out of the toaster, so when it pops out, Bobby just shoots it immediately, I guess as target practice. So it had a fun energy to it, I will say. I would say I like this more now than I did as a kid. As a kid, I'm like, oh, okay. Nowadays, I liked it more. And the actual plot is he gets on jury duty. You have a very fun scene where he accidentally bit off a pen and all this ink keeps coming out. And he's like, he keeps trying to wipe it up. And anytime he wipes it, there's more. Try to clean it up. Are you alright? Oh, absolutely. He's got all this ink on his face. Like, Jim Varney looked genuine in his stupidity that he was playing with the character. Stupidity, but warm eyes, as in he meant well. I really do think Jim Varney was that talented, and he's greatly missed. I really do miss Jim Varney. And it's been fun watching these again. But during jury duty, there happens to be a prisoner that looks exactly like Jim Varney, and he's called Nash. So to get him out, they switch places with Ernest, knock Ernest out. Ernest is in jail, while Nash is out there in Ernest's life. And pretty much the other prisoners go, you better pretend to be Nash, otherwise people you like on the outside will be hurt. And that's where you get the scene where Ernest is pretending to be tough. He's doing all these impressions, like Humphrey Bogart, saying the same line, are you the guy that killed my brother? Now I'm going to kill you. And then he does Humphrey Bogart. He does a guy who's too old, huh? He even does Stallone impression. Hey, yo, Murdoch, you the guy who shot my brother. Which is funny because Charles Napier plays the fucking warden. And of course he played Murdoch in Rambo First Blood Part 2. So that had to be done on purpose. That had to have been done. Wait, we got Charles Napier, he worked with Stallone, you're doing a Stallone impression, say Murdoch. Hey, yo, Murdoch. So I thought that was a fun scene. Randall Tetz-Cobb, who's in one of my personal favorite films, Uncommon Valor, that Sally's only on Blu-ray in fucking Australia from Umbrella Entertainment. I have nowhere to fucking buy it to get it here because of what's going on. So it sucks because I love that film. I would like a Blu-ray of one of my favorite films that has Randall Tetz-Cobb. So it fucking sucks. Because anywhere I look, we don't send it to US of A because of what's going on. Fuck. Anyway, did another tangent. But it was cool to see Randall Tetz-Cobb. I like him. Sally, he didn't do a lot of big things later on. Like, there's not a lot of starring roles that he got. Or at least big major roles. Like in Uncommon Valor. Even this is a alright, decent size role. I do think there's more that could have been done with Ernest in prison. Although there's always the joke, is he going to get butt fucked raped in prison? But what I'm talking about is, I think you could do more scenes out in the yard with the weights. There's usually people playing basketball. Maybe you could have done something with that. There's other places of the prison that you go to. Maybe you could do something with that. The laundry room. Most of it is either in the jail cell where he makes like a rifle out of one bar of soap, or trying to escape, like uses catapult, but it just goes like this. But I think there's a lot of locations in the prison that they could have utilized and maybe put Ernest in different situations. So I do think the prison, like I said, the prison location could have been used more for comedy bits. That's just my opinion. But then you get to the finale, which watching it again was a fun finale. I mean, spoilers for those who haven't seen Ernest Goes to Jail. But he gets electrocuted, but then he becomes fucking Electro from Spider-Man. He's able to shoot lightning bolts. Because remember earlier when he got fried, all this metal, same thing happened here. And then now he can shoot lightning bolts, which was fun. He shot lightning bolts at guns, spotlights. You either go with it as, again, a live-action cartoon, like Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, this stuff would happen to them as well, or you hate it. I enjoy it. And Randall Tetz-Cobb's actually a decent guy and helps Ernest out at one point. He battles his evil double Nash at the bank. That was some fun slapstick where Ernest gets fried again. Or at this point he's levitating, he's flying everywhere. Yeah, very silly, I know. I came, I saw, I got blown up. Overall, I don't really have a lot of issues. I mean, it's hard for me to critique an Ernest film, because again, how do you critique a live-action cartoon? Like I said, I think there's a bit more that could have been done within the prison. But Jim Varney was great. I liked Gaylord Sartain, Bill Burge, the security guards. Again, they were in some films before and after this. I don't really know if these films are supposed to be connected with each other, because it seems as if they are. Because, for example, Ernest has his little dog, and that little dog would show up in Ernest Dear Stupid, but then sometimes certain characters' names would change, or like, okay, wait a minute, they're not in that profession anymore, they're in another job, and so I always wonder, like, is all this supposed to be in one timeline? Maybe you're not supposed to look that deep into it. But yeah, fun movie. Jim Varney was entertaining. The slapstick humor. You tell they had a little bit of a budget. It does look like a theatrical film compared to, say, Ernest Goes to Africa. The little bits I remember, or Ernest in the Army, the teeny bits I remember, because I don't, like 98% of those movies I don't remember a thing. So Ernest Goes to Jail was fun. It's not my favorite. That would still be Scared Stupid, Rides Again, Saves Christmas. Then probably this one. But with that said, still a fun movie. Rest in peace, Jim Varney. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.